Hello and welcome to today's reading. So for this reading, I'm going to be doing something a little bit different. I have an actual plan. It's less so channeling messages from someone or something else. And today I wanted to take a look at the karmic cycles that are being closed out in your life. So I have a little outline. Basically, we're going to start off with the oracle cards as per usual. We're going to be asking what cycle is being closed out, where are you currently in that process, and then what advice does Spirit have for you in regards to the closing out of that cycle. And then once we get into the tarot, we're going to be looking at the energy that is coming in and then where you will end up going with the lessons that you've learned after closing out this cycle. So there's a little bit more structure than usual. So yeah, I do anticipate this reading being like a little bit shorter, just because I think I only got like 4 oracle cards, but we'll see what it ends up being like. Anyways, for today we have 3 decks. The Tarot of a Moon Garden, the Every Little Thing You Do is Magic Tarot, and then I think it's just called the Cat Tarot, to be honest, just the Cat Tarot. So, and then for the crystals, we have this clear quartz. I got this when I was really little, so hee hee. And then some aquamarine. I'm pretty sure it's aquamarine, or is it aventurine? Is this aventurine? It might be, I don't know. I'm not even gonna lie. I feel like aquamarine also can look really green and frosted when it's unpolished. So don't quote me on that one. Aquamarine's literally my birthstone too, so I should know these things. It might be aventurine. I don't know. And then we have rose quartz. All right, guys, I know some really niche crystals, but I can't get the regular ones right. Like, I don't know. Anyways, you can take a moment to see which deck or crystal you're drawn to, and then we're gonna hop into the reading. All right, pile number 1. If you chose the clear quartz or the Tarot of a Moon Garden, then this is your reading. So I'm just gonna set that over there for now, and we're gonna move the tarot. Sorry about my dog. She wants attention. So, with the oracle cards, I think I said in the beginning, let me get my notebook again because I wrote it all down in there. It's not much, but still, I'm tired. I would show you, but my handwriting is really ugly. So we're going to be looking at what cycle is being closed out, where you are currently in the process, and then advice that Spirit has for you in regards to this. So, for the cycle that is being closed out, we have clear waters, clear vision, confirmation, right timing, and opportunity. We have follow the stream, dedication, trust, future rivers, and oceans. So I did try and put a cap on the amount of oracle cards for today's reading because sometimes it gets a little crazy, but I'm not even gonna lie, I'm a little bit drained today, so I still wanted to do a reading. So already I'm seeing that you are in a position where you are very much looking towards the future. So I don't want to talk too much before we get the next couple cards, but this just makes me think that your sights are very much set on something in the future. And I know this is like what is being closed out, but the energy that's coming in already, just like right off the bat, is that you're eager for something new. I think that maybe what you're leaving behind and what you're closing out is not really trusting that the universe has your back. like anxiety, you know, like being so anxious about how everything's going to turn out, or like what the end goal is, even what the gameplay, everything, just everything, like where you're going to go and then how you're going to get there, and every minute detail along the way. It's coming through that you might be a very anxious person, or like someone who is very much stuck in your head a lot of the time, like a lot of mental energy, and in rumination. And I think this feels like something that you've struggled with for a while. And so the idea of just trusting that things will work out when maybe it doesn't seem logical, or maybe there's no like hard evidence that it will, you aren't really good at that. And it's not so much that it's like a disconnect from your intuition. It's not so much that it's a disconnect from spirit. It's just anxiety, really. And if you are spiritual, like it might be that you've beaten yourself up about that like a lot, because you're like, well, I know that spirit and the universe like needs me to trust it so that like it can do its thing and things can fall into place. Like I know that I don't have control over everything. I know that like worrying so much is useless, but at the same time, like you do it. And so it is kind of coming through like that maybe you feel like you're a less evolved or less spiritual being because you do feel this anxiety, which is just not true. Like that's just, everyone is human. You can be as spiritual as you want to be, evolved as you want to be, but you know, ultimately, and I don't know your life, but I'm just going to assume that you don't really live in a place or have circumstances where you can just completely detach, because those are probably the only kinds of people that feel no anxiety, is people who have no responsibility, you know, or are able to detach, like are able to just go up into the mountains and be like, okay, I'm done being a person. I don't think you have that opportunity in your life. Or maybe that's really not the steps that you really want to take. Maybe you enjoy being a person to some extent, you know? But it's just that very human nature of like needing to know exactly how and why things are going to pan out. And like a need for control. It comes out that a need for control is an extension of that anxiety. And maybe you're someone who like really white knuckles things in situations, and I'm feeling like if you've tried to force an outcome, or you've like tried to like manifest something, but like it just feels like things don't really work out, it's not that you're not like worthy of things working out. It's that you need to be shown like time and time again that that's not really like a viable option, that you can't control everything. Because it does feel like this is just like a need for control because of anxiety. So what is being closed out is letting go of that, letting go of expectations, and just being able to exist and sort of take what comes your way, and know that if it feels right, like it's because spirit is handing you something. And you don't have to worry about all the details, like all the logical details. But I am feeling like there's a situation recently, or maybe in like the recent past, that you tried to control the outcome of, and it did not go your way at all. You just feel like it might have blown up in your face completely. It might have been with someone, or some sort of something pursuit. Something pursuit, maybe a creative pursuit. But it's just feeling like you wanted a certain outcome so bad, and it just didn't happen, and it kind of like, it's feeling a little bit crushing, like, because I think you might have taken that way to heart. But spirit is saying like that wasn't meant for you anyway, so it's like, come on, fine. It's fine. Like it might hurt in the moment, but there's something better around the corner if you just let it come to you. If you just like let good things in your life exist and thrive, then they will. Because I think what happens is like, again, it's coming through. It's not that you're unworthy of things. It's just that like maybe you've been looking for the wrong things, the right things in the wrong places. So like the things that you have those high expectations of, like, it's fine to have like high expectations or good expectations of people and things, but it's coming through that you've been like kind of looking in the wrong places, or you've been placing those expectations in the wrong people or things. Maybe you're someone that just like chronically sees potential in everything, but yeah, there's something better if you just let it come into your life. It's almost like you trying to like white knuckle and control certain people and situations is also like keeping things in your life that like don't belong there because you want it to work out some type of way, and spirit is like, this is literally not for you, like at fucking all. But you're like, no, I need it. Like, I need to hold on to this. And so it's like actively hindering the good thing that you do want from coming into your life because you're so focused on like how it's going to show up and the active role that you play in it. There's something about like not necessarily taking a passive role in your life, but understanding that you're not always in the driver's seat. Like there are definitely times where you are and you do need to be, but there are also times where like you can just kind of let spirit and let the universe like take control. And that there's a lesson in learning that more easygoing nature. And I just heard like taking the scenic route. You might be taking the scenic route, and it's because you're supposed to learn to just be in the passenger seat and enjoy. And there are definitely going to be times in your life where you're going to need to like pioneer things and be in that more active energy. But right now isn't one of those times. I think that there's been a lot of like change in your life recently. And maybe this isn't the only cycle that's been closing out. Like maybe there's been a mass shedding of people and things and energies, and just maybe all of that is just like falling away. And I'm like hearing that you need like to rest, and you need to just like enjoy life after all that change. Just like be a little bit more grounded in the physical world. Understand that growth can't be forced. Maybe you've been trying to rapidly close out cycles, but you've been going too fast because you're like trying to speed through them, and spirit's like, well, you're still like not really, you're just, it's there's just a need for things to be done in the way that you want them to be done. And I think it's born of anxiety. Like it doesn't feel like it's because you're like, this is it, like I'm the epitome of any decision maker to exist. It just feels like so much anxiety is the root cause of this. So maybe medication. Imagine I'm like prescribing medication through a tarot channel. That'd be so funny. Let me take a sip of my drinky. Oh my goodness. No, but like really. It's coming through that this is not just like like anxiety. It's coming through that this is anxiety. So maybe you have been medicated in the past, or seen like a psychologist or a psychiatrist, or you know, something like that. And I think that maybe there's some shame around that too, about how it makes you behave and like show up. Almost like a detachment from the self, because you look at it sometimes and you're like, that's not really who I am or who I want to be. It's just the way that I've been behaving because of like this feeling that I just can't shake. And I'm like almost thinking that like maybe there was a fight with someone and you said something that you did not mean because you wanted the situation to end. That might be really specific, but for someone, yeah, I'm getting like there was a fight and you said something you did not mean just because you wanted the situation to end. You just wanted it to be over. So you said something that was just like really fucking biting. like something that would just completely kill the conversation and get the person the fuck away from you. But you did not mean that. It was just born of that anxiety. Anyways, I feel like I've been talking for a while now, but that's kind of what I'm getting for what cycle is being closed out, is the need for control, the need to know not only the outcome, but every step along the way as well. Definitely feels like more of a surrendering type energy. And then where you are in this process, we have moss agate, positivity and change. So like I said before, it definitely feels like you're looking ahead. It feels like you are more okay like with looking forward and not knowing, you know, what is on the other end of that. It's almost like looking at like ahead, but like when you're driving, but like there's mist everywhere and stuff. So you kind of, you know the direction you're going, you know the general direction and kind of where you're headed, but you don't really know like what's next. And you're not really like trying to peer through that mist. You're not really trying to make anything like more clear. You're just like kind of accepting. So it feels like there's release currently. I feel like you're releasing a lot of things. And if you did go through a mass like closing out of cycles and shedding, I think you're still in the process of that shedding, but it feels like the tail end of it. Because you're definitely, something is like coming in. It really does feel like something is coming in, but that's not to say that you should be like, ooh, what's coming in? Because I don't think you get to know. I think you just have to be like kind of in limbo about it. And the lesson is like being okay with that limbo, being okay with not knowing that good things are coming to you and blessings are coming, but that you don't have to really know what they are to trust that they are on their way. And I think that this is something hard for you, but that you're becoming more acquainted with it. And you don't have to be perfect about it all at once. Like everyone wants to know like what's going to happen, where they're going to end up, but it's more so about like the general release, because as you release this need to know, like you ultimately release that anxiety. And it becomes less crippling. It becomes less of like a, like, oh my God, what about this and this and this? What if this happens? Like when you just learn that like there's so many things that could happen, but that's just kind of life and you don't really need to know what comes next to be prepared for it. You can just take things as they come to you. That anxiety starts to dissolve away because you know that either way, no matter what comes towards you, you'll be okay. Do you like how you can see? I just realized this is like candle wax I spilled a while ago. Anyways, and then what advice does Spirit have for you? We have embrace. Embrace the changes happening around you. Have recent changes made you uneasy? Accept them, adjust, and discover the opportunities that come with transformation. So, yeah, I feel like that definitely like ties it all up nicely, is that things are probably not going to be the way you imagined them, but that doesn't mean that they're not going to be what you want and they're not going to be good. So instead of like trying to force a certain type of outcome, take things more so as they come. And obviously if something's not for you, then it's not for you. Don't force yourself to be happy in something that falls in your lap, because that's not really good for us either. That's definitely what has happened to me in the past. But at the same time, like there's a need to recognize that you're not always in the driver's seat. You're not always in control. And sometimes the best way to face that anxiety, the anxiety that comes with that fact, is to just embrace it head on and be like, okay, what's next? Like, what do you have for me next? And accept that they're like opportunities in unlikely places, or maybe there's something about like changing your perception of something to like see it as an opportunity, and not as something like detrimental. But overall, it feels like you're in a really good headspace about this. like, I feel like this is, I know it's like what cycle is being closed out, but it feels like you are on the tail end of closing this out. And it already feels like you're in that energy of embrace and in that energy of accepting what's coming towards you and accepting that change. So yeah, we're going to get into the tarot portion of your reading now. And so with the tarot, we're going to look into what is coming, which I know I said before, I don't think you are allowed to know. So maybe it'll be really just not explanatory at all. But yeah, then we're also going to be looking at what lesson, or where will you go with the lessons that you take. Again, kind of like, I'm interested to see what the tarot is going to say, but I'm going to put the oracle cards away and then I'll be right back. All right, so we're going to begin. And I think I'm going to get 3 cards for each. So, Spirit, please tune me in to pile number 1's energy and the energy of the cycle that is being closed out for them. Because I don't know if we can even see what's coming for you. But after the closing out of this cycle, what is coming for the pile number 1? Those came out really fast. So, it feels like things might just pick up all at once. Like, it really does. I'm thinking that maybe that period of rest is like, you need to enjoy it while it lasts. I thought my camera was paused for a second. I was about to be so mad. I was like, hello? Interesting. Okay, so I noticed the butterflies here too. I know that this deck has like a lot of butterflies throughout it, but they're more prominently placed in these 2 cards. So I think that this is like a really big transformation for you. This is something that is coming through that, like, it's been hindering things for a while. And I think that it has caused you to look at yourself through more of a critical gaze, because maybe if you're not really an easygoing person, you look at other people and you're like, why can't I be like that? Like, why can't I be more like that person? It just seems like things come so easy to them, and I feel like I try so hard and nothing works out. So, this feels like a big change for you. And maybe even other people notice it. Like, maybe other people notice that it like affects your demeanor. It affects like the way you present or how you are in your day-to-day life. Maybe people notice and point it out. They're like, you seem just so much more relaxed than usual. And you're like, well, yeah, because I realized that I'm not in control. And so when you kind of realize that, the burden shifts from you and you're like, well, not my problem anymore. Of course, you are, you do have free will, etc., but you know what I'm trying to say. Sorry, my chair is like squeaky. Anyways, so something is coming in that it could be a work thing, okay? Because we have like the Page of Pentacles, the Queen of Pentacles, the Knight of Wands. It could be like a creative pursuit that is developing. But mostly what I'm seeing is like that it's, I think what this reading really wants to focus on is less so a thing and more so an energy. Or, I mean, it is what energy is coming in, but, because I know sometimes, like, it can be the energy of, like, love, or the energy of, like, monetary abundance, and like, there's, like, something actually that's coming to fruition there. Not that things won't come to fruition, but, in a tangible sense, but this is more so focusing on, like, the energetic shift, and less so, like, the tangible end of that energetic shift, if that makes sense. It just feels like in your life there's going to be more stability. And I think that you're okay with things developing a little bit slowly and maybe not the way that you expected. Because I do notice that we have the Page of Pentacles and then the Queen of Pentacles and then the Knight of Wands, you know? So it's like, ignore him for a second, but like this just is a natural progression. Like you don't go to you don't get to that point where you're the Queen of Pentacles all at once. Like you have to go through the development stage. And the Page is definitely about like developing things. It's about like sort of picking things up and like maybe putting them back down and, you know, like being curious about things, learning things. This definitely could be like a work thing, or maybe something with school too as well, because that is kind of like the Pages of Pentacles is seen as like a scholar. But more so it feels like there's an understanding that things take time to develop, that we don't get everything we want at once, and that good things take time to nurture before they can come to fruition. And I think that in the face of some energy like the Knight of Wands, in the face of like passion, in the face of like creativity and potential, you don't like hold on to it so tight because you're afraid you're gonna lose it. You nurture it. And you're coming into things with that understanding that like if there is a Knight of Wands in your life, if there is like a lot of like heated, passionate, fiery energy that you see has so much potential, you take it and you are that Queen of Pentacles to it. You know, if that's a creative pursuit, you don't try and do everything all at once and do everything yourself and try and get something, you know, some sort of like piece of art put out so fast and burn yourself out and then end up with a project that you're really not happy with just because like you wanted it to get done like so fast and by this time frame, and so you could do this. And you understand that like that's something that like you really have to work at consistently. If it's a relationship, you're not like immediately trying to like get someone to commit to you or commit to them because you're afraid that they might leave your life. You're taking things slower and just kind of seeing where they go. Or if it's a job, like I think that this could indicate like potentially moving up the ladder, like having that passion and having that that want and that need to like do good and to get where you're going, but understanding that like it just doesn't happen all at once. Ultimately, whatever is coming in, you're going into it with that need that it's just not going to happen all at once. And you're okay with that. You're okay with the idea of like the Knight of Wands, the Knight of Wands in your life, like understanding that that's not a fleeting energy. Because I feel like a lot of the times, like it is a pretty fast moving knight, you know, second to the Knight of Swords. And a lot of times people describe it as an energy that can burn out if there's not something like more grounding with it, because he just kind of goes at it. But you know, it's passion, but passion and fire can burn out. It burns hot, but it burns fast. And so I like how the Queen of Pentacles and the Page of Pentacles comes in as like a contrast to that. It's like very balancing, is that you have the passion and then you also have the understanding that to continue on with it, to continue on with that Knight of Wands energy, you have to nurture it so that it doesn't burn out. And I think that that's kind of what might have happened before with certain things, is that need for control, squandered potential, you know, because it all burned really hot and really fast, but then it felt like it was gone. And it was because of your approach in regards to things. So that is the energy that is coming in. And now we're going to take a look and see where you will go with the lessons that you've learned. So this could be like near future, or this could be years from now, months from now. we're just gonna see what comes through for you. So Spirit, where will our pile number 1 go with the lesson that they've learned? Oh. Okay. I'm gonna scoot these guys over here. I wonder if there's a better way to do it. Like, I try to keep it all in frame. So we have the Lovers in reverse, the 8 of Cups. Oh my gosh. Let's see. Where will pile number 1 and the Empress in reverse? The Queen of Wands on the bottom of the deck right now. So I'm going to put her right there. Interesting. So, I mean, ultimately, I feel like it's kind of what I said before. It's like being more okay with the outcome of things is where you're going to go. And then walking away from things that just aren't working. If something isn't working and it's apparent, instead of trying to like continuously make it work, I think that there's more of like, the 8 of Cups is like kind of a sad card, I think, but it's also one of acceptance and thus release. And so I feel like release is just like a big part of, or a big theme of this reading. Understanding that when you see disharmony and when you see like a lack, that even though you saw potential in that thing or that person, that sometimes the best thing to do is to walk away and move on. And I think the Queen of Wands coming through on the bottom of the deck like talks about the way that that honors the self. It doesn't really, the 8 of Cups is less so looking back on what you've walked away from and more so just like knowing that there's something better for you ahead. And the Queen of Wands, I feel like, is someone who does not hesitate to walk away from things that don't serve her, because she knows what she deserves. And even though there's like a lot of good to be found in like people or things and situations, sometimes we're not always the good, the thing that brings that good out in those people and things. And it sucks, but like ultimately you have to put yourself first, and you have to stop keeping people, things. It's gonna rain soon, I think. Jobs, even if you're at a job that's really burning you out or something like that, there's no point in keeping that around. Sorry, I'm getting like a little bit distracted by the wind. I think it's gonna rain. Yeah, I feel like there's acceptance. Like, what was the question I asked? I forgot already. Where will you go with the lessons you've learned? You'll go into the future with acceptance. Like, you're still gonna go ahead. Like, you're still gonna go into the future. It's less so like that. Again, it's like less so exactly what's coming, less so exactly where you're going. And oh my goodness, I'm gonna have to go fix that. You can hear my wind chime. And more so the energy that you will be going into the future with, which is one of understanding that good things need to be nurtured and they don't happen all at once. And that if something seems good on the surface or seems good when you first interact with it, but breeds chaos, breeds discomfort, breeds lack, or makes you feel like there's a lack of abundance in your life, that you can detach and walk away, even if you had a set outcome in mind. It's about releasing those expectations. Like I said, it's good to have expectations. Those are important, but it's also okay to be able to release them and understand that sometimes things don't go exactly how we want or how we planned them. So I'm gonna have to run back there and fix that. But pile 1, this was your reading. Thank you so much for watching this video and sticking around, and I hope I will see you in the next one. Pile number 2, if you chose whatever stone this is, because I fumbled in the beginning, and the Every Little Thing You Do is a Magic Tarot, and then this is your reading about the karmic cycles that you are closing out in your life. I am losing daylight, which I didn't mean to happen, but it looks like a storm is coming in, so I might have to turn the lights on soon, but maybe not, because I don't really like how it looks, but it's fine. Anyways, as per usual, my cat is eating. We're gonna set the tarot aside and get into the oracle cards. So, for the cycle that you're closing out, we have the sweet waters: sensuality, romance, enjoyment, fertility. Wow, I'm just throwing new letters in there. That's crazy. New word just dropped. Anyways, fertility and balance. And we have Lady of the Lake. New beginnings. Something is about to happen. Interesting. Okay, so when I was shuffling your oracle cards, I heard that someone is digging their feet in about something. This pile definitely, the energy when I was shuffling at least was like a little bit heavier. And I feel like maybe you're down about something. I'm thinking like there's something that you put a lot of time and energy into that is not working out, or you just feel like you're coming up empty consistently. I think that you're a very giving person, like a very nice person, maybe almost a pushover, which, like, no offense, because it's really hard to not be a pushover. Maybe you feel like you are easily manipulated by people and have trouble standing your ground, or asserting your boundaries, but it's just coming through something like is that you're a giver, but that it feels like people take advantage of that. You feel drained about it. This card here, like, it's kind of giving me Empress energy, to be honest. It almost looks like she, like, I think it is, right? I need glasses kind of, but I'm pretty sure that she's like holding her belly. So, and fertility is on there. So definitely giving me Empress vibes. And I think that you're someone who is just like, you're so full of good things, like innately. And you're so full of just loving energy. Like you're, oh my gosh, I don't know what that was. Anyways, I'm like just thinking that like you have like just a heart chakra that is like pouring out. It's very much open. It's like very open. It's very like, you just can't help it. You love everyone so relentlessly. And maybe you're like a Cancer, or like maybe a Cancer moon, just someone who's like just super loving, feels super deeply, and like you want to be nurturing for people. Like you want to do that. You love to take care of people. But it feels like there's someone or something here that is draining you and taking advantage of that energy. And I think that the cycle that you're closing out is one where people do relentlessly take advantage. I feel like the imagery here, there's like a contrast between, you know, both the colors. Like this is an objectively more lively card. And this one, like, she's sort of turned away from us. She's bearing a sword. It's like a little bit more stripped back in the coloration. And she just looks like a little bit, I mean, still like very ethereal and beautiful, but just less inviting. And I feel like you are learning to strike a balance between giving to people and you know, being able to fulfill that part of yourself, because I feel like that is something you do not only to fulfill others, but because it fulfills you. And understanding when to assert your boundaries and cut people off, and knowing that it's not selfish to do that, and then it doesn't make you anything other than who you already are, just with stronger boundaries. Like, it's not gonna, there's almost like something about being afraid of like being redefined if you assert boundaries, like meaning that you will lose like your loving and caring nature. And that's not true. Like, we all eventually, I mean, I guess not all of us, but we all usually have a point in life where we have to look at how we've been doing things and realize that something needs to change in regards to boundaries. Like, usually there's like someone or something that is like a wake-up call for that. I've been through that. I know that most people go through that. It's just existing with boundaries that can be permeated so easily. It's not a sustainable way of being, and it doesn't redefine who you are as a person. It doesn't make you less loving or giving or caring. It just means that you care for yourself, which is important, because if you're not pouring into yourself, like, how can you keep your heart chakra so like open and flowing? But there's a need to assert that you're not being like selfish here. And I know I said like digging in earlier. It feels like someone is digging in their feet. Like, maybe this is a change that you've seen, but you've resisted chronically because you didn't want to be redefined, or you didn't want people to look at you differently, or you didn't know how people would react. But I think that there's something that has triggered this, and you're like, okay, I can't do this shit anymore, is kind of what it's feeling like. And also balance here too. Striking that balance between these two energies of being loving and open, but also like being able to reserve that for who truly deserves it. So for the part of the process that you are currently in, we have cauldron, creation, opportunity, caring. I might have to maneuver these a little. And then we have altar, gratitude, releasing the burdens. And I'm just going to put this one out now. This is advice that Spirit has for you in regards to the closing out of this cycle. Clarity. Clear vision is leading you forward. Have you been feeling uncertain? Clarity is emerging. Take action with confidence and trust your path. So, in regards to where you are, it feels like this is like the beginning, sort of clearing away this energy. I think that maybe there was something recently that happened to you that was almost like a wake-up call, and I'm feeling like it was really recent, and maybe that's why you're here. Maybe you fucking found this video and you're like, okay, let me see. And there's something here, like there's anxiety about how hard the road ahead will be. If you have a lot of people in your life that you will have to confront or be like, this is not, sustainable, people that you think are your friends, family, a romantic partner, it feels like there's anxiety coming through about how you will implement this change, because it will actually affect the dynamics in your life and the more prominent dynamics in your life. But there's something here about like remembering that, like, to take care of other people, you have to take care of yourself, and there's nothing selfish about doing this. Maybe like I know this is hyper specific, but like if you are someone's like older sibling and you have parents that take advantage of that, or that are not really in the picture, kind of absent in some way, and you've almost taken on the caregiver role, but like you kind of feel like you want to move on with your life, or you have things that are demanding your attention, you didn't mean to be a parent, like this doesn't feel fair, is kind of what's coming through. Like, moving on from that and knowing that it's not selfish to attend to your own life. But yeah, it feels like there's something recent here that triggered this and is triggering some self-reflection and releasing the burden here too. I think that you understand on some level that the way that you've been caring for people and neglecting yourself has been a burden, but it's just been hard to articulate. And if you are spiritual, like maybe, I don't know, doing something with an altar, you know, I don't know what you do, but even like just redecorating your altar, or, you know, meditating at your altar, something like that, to bring you more clarity about how you can move forward. Yeah, I don't know. I feel like that's pretty self-explanatory. It feels like this is a newer, not that the cycle is new, but like that the wake-up call is newer, and that you're just now sort of realizing, and maybe you're kicking yourself for this too. You're like, how did I not know before? Melanie, don't play with that. It's going to spill everything. Melanie, why are you playing with this? Anyways, I'm going to put this over here. I forgot what I was talking about, but I think that you also, like, there's a recognition that this is not like sustainable, so you're looking forward at the potential that could come, if that makes sense. Like, I feel like, going back to the digging your heels in, I feel like for a while you dug your heels in, but like now you really realize, and it's like there's a hard kick in the other direction. You're like, I shouldn't have been doing that for so fucking long. Like, I see now. It's like, I see the light. It is clarity. It's just like clarity came in as like a hard fucking kick in the ass. I feel like I'm rambling. So I think we're going to get into the tarot for your reading. And then we're going to be asking what energy is coming in, and then where will you go with the lessons that you have learned. So I'm going to put away your oracle cards, and then we're going to jump into it. Okay, so now we're going to be asking what energy is coming in, and then where you're going to go with these lessons. And I'm going to be getting 3 cards for each of these. So Spirit, please tune me into the energy of pile number 2, collective number 2, and then what energy is coming in for them? What energy is coming in? So I'm not really going to put like a hard definition on this energy. Like, if you think this is now, while you're in the process of closing out this cycle, you know, oh my gosh, the trees are going crazy. It could be that. I don't know what I did for pile 1, because it was a little bit more, I felt like Spirit did not want me to exactly define. But I guess this is like, this can be like after the cycle is closed. But since it's like the beginning of your cycle, this might be just energy that'll come in the near future. We'll see. I don't know. Whoa, that's a lot of cards. Too many cards. All right, what energy is coming in for our pile number 2? The 5 of Pentacles. The Queen of Wands. And then the Hanged Man. And then where will they go with the lessons that they've learned? Ooh. Justice. I feel like Justice has been following for months. Like, I get him all my readings. 2 of Wands in reverse. Oh. 2 flung out. I might redo that. I don't know if that's right. Oh my gosh. They're just all falling on the... Okay, we got a lot of reversals coming out. The other cards that came out in reverse, I will say, I think it was like the 9 of Pentacles and the 3 of Wands in reverse, but I didn't feel like right about taking those. Bottom of the deck, we have the 10 of Wands. So, This does feel like near future energy, and this is like sort of the outcome, I guess, is the way I'm trying to do it if it comes through like that. But I think that this is something that's gonna shake up your life, like, to be honest. I think that you've been existing in a status quo sort of energy for a while now, where you sort of let other people like take the reins and like make the decisions, make the rules, and you were just sort of following along like da 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 da, because you like wanted to be nice, you wanted to be, you know, accepting and understanding, and just like give people grace, I guess, is what is kind of coming through. And maybe you're someone who's just like really non-confrontational, so like the idea of having a conversation like that where it would seem confrontational, like you wouldn't even know how to approach that, but because it feels like this has been going on for so long, I feel like that's what this Five of Pentacles is. It's gonna cause some instability, some insecurity. It might cause you to be shut out of people's lives, or it might cause you to shut people out of your life. But interesting, we got the Queen of Wands on the bottom of the deck in the first reading too. But you'll be confident in the decisions that you make, is the thing. Is like, it feels like you kind of were just like going along with it with like your eyes glazed over for a while, and then that like wake up call like kicked you in the ass, and now you're like, oh no, we're not fucking doing this anymore. It's almost like a switch just fucking flipped, and like people are probably going to be completely unprepared, and you might even be coming at them with a lot of pent-up anger. Like you might finally address something, but it ends up not just being that one thing. It ends up being like things that have built up over years and years and years, and they might be like caught out of fucking left field, because maybe you're someone who's typically very quiet, and then you just start getting like fucking loud and pissed off. It's kind of coming through. But like the Queen of Wands is definitely someone who like, she honors herself first and foremost, and I think that it, oh my goodness, I'm gonna be honest, I think it might cause you to lose a lot of relationships, or it might put you in this feeling of limbo where like, it's interesting because usually the Hanged Man isn't really making a decision, but it's feeling like for you, this Hanged Man is coming through to say like, you're protecting your peace. Like you will put yourself up in that position to protect your peace, instead of existing in relationships and dynamics that are draining and where people just use you. Like you would literally rather sit up there alone. You would rather fucking put yourself on that cross alone, and like, that's kind of what it is. It's more so like not making a decision. Like you're making the decision to cut people out of your life, or to, you know, honor yourself more overtly, but it might lead you to be in a position where you're a little bit more isolated. But I think you're okay with that. Like it feels again like your peace is being protected. Anyways, so I hate how this is upside down. Where will you take these lessons? It's interesting to see that we have the Six of Wands in reverse, but I think that this is coming through because the Two of Wands in reverse is like, it can be action, it can be impulsive action, but it can be like, you're not really waiting anymore. You are taking that action. I don't feel like these are really coming through as like distorted energies, if that makes sense. It's more so a reaction to distorted energies around you. Like justice tells me that you will take these lessons to a place where you feel like things are operating in a way that is balanced. Where the universe is like meeting you where you're at, where external factors are balanced. And so I think that like the Two of Wands in reverse comes out to say that you're okay to make hard decisions. You're okay to be confrontational, and you're okay to look at situations from a more critical lens. And if you don't feel like the situation is just or right or fair balance, like, you're fine to leave it. And even maybe start shit with people. Like, it's not coming through as a combative energy, but as like someone who's really learned the hard way that they have to speak up if they're uncomfortable. And I think that the more that you cut people out, the more you walk away from situations that drain you and make you feel depleted, like, the more you really situate your life and situate yourself, like, to attract the people and situations that don't drain you. Because, like, really, a lot of people are fucking attracted to that. A lot of, like, bad, annoying people are attracted to that. And they sense that energy. But I think you're learning to keep your walls up a little bit more, in a healthy way, of course. You can see I got like chai latte on this one day. But yeah, the 10 of Wands and the 10 of Swords, like, I think that you are proceeding with caution when it comes to new relationships and experiences. I don't want to say you're more likely to run away from things, but it definitely does feel like there's a guard up here, and there's this lesson. It feels like you will probably carry it as a burden, if that makes sense, or it will weigh heavy on you. It feels like whatever this wake-up call was, like, this really hurt, and you're so afraid of it happening again that you will only find yourself in situations where you feel like justice is being enacted, and that if those situations aren't just, you will make them so. But it does feel like there's pain here about this. Whatever is being closed out, whatever caused this ending, there's pain that you're holding on to, and you're taking that and you're moving forward after, like, looking at it and being like, this cannot happen again. So that might weigh on you, to be honest. In the future, you might be like, oh, this is definitely a thing I've been through. But yeah, I've definitely kind of the vibe. But I'm gonna leave it there for you, pile number 2. Thank you so much for watching. Very much appreciate it. Hope you enjoyed, and hope I'll see you in the next one. Hello, pile number 3. So if you chose the rose quartz chunk, shoot, fucked up the focus thing. I don't know what happened. I guess it's no longer on autofocus. I'm not really sure how to fix that. Or if you chose the cat tarot, then this is going to be a reading. So first and foremost, we're going to put away the tarot and get into the oracle cards. Persephone's bugging me. It's fine. So we're going to be looking at what cycle is being closed out, where you are currently in this process, and then what advice that Spirit has for you. How do I... Oh, interesting. Don't mind me, I don't know. I don't know how to get this thing to stop focusing like that. Whatever. All right. So for the cycle that is being closed out, we have replenishment. I'm gonna have to noodle around with it. Self-care, the sacred well, replenishment, self-care, giving from a place of plenty. Shoot. Hold on. I don't know how to fix that. I guess I locked the focus somehow on my phone. Very expensive phone, so you think that it would be intuitive to like figure out how the fuck to fix it, but why would they make iPhones good? I don't know. I got pigeonholed into buying one because I had to. I needed a phone. Anyways, so we have still for what cycle is being closed out. Please bear with me. I'm so sorry. The Well Maidens. Kindness, respect, reverence, and compassion. So this is definitely like the most lighthearted out of all of the piles. Like I could just feel it when I was shuffling the cards. I just think that this cycle is maybe it's one that hasn't been like super detrimental to you, or like maybe it's not a cycle that has like had a lot of like karmic buildup. It seems like it was more so like a lesson like, oh, and you were able to detach a little bit more easily. If that makes sense. You're someone who already has done a substantial amount of growing. And I think that that's probably why, because I feel that really strongly, is that you are probably like an old soul. And so like, while you probably have had your fair share of like hard cycles to break, you have taken the lessons from them and just like, you know, gone ahead. You've learned the lessons like that. I mean, not like that, but you've been good at implementing the lessons that you've learned, if that makes sense. Like, it is coming through. There were probably really painful lessons in the past, like a lot of them, probably multiple of them, but I'm feeling like you are so good at self-reflecting and so good at like, I don't know, you're just like coming through as a very like mature, like poised almost person, someone who like you want to grow. And I think that it's been a long process to grow, and it's been a hard process to do it, but you're so persistent. And I think that like the more hard cycles that you closed out, like the easier it was to like take on the next one. I feel you're at a more evolved place when it comes to closing these out. So maybe this isn't something that you can just walk away from like that, but it's something that it feels like there's less strife about. You understand that as something is closed out, that means that there's potential. So instead of really focusing on what has been lost for you or perceived lost, you're much more focused on the potential ahead, and you're much more gentler with yourself than you used to be. You allow yourself to make mistakes. You allow yourself to make mistakes about things that you should know better about. And you give yourself the grace to be human. It's just coming through that you're very like, I don't know if I said evolved already, but like very, I don't want to say like evolved. Like, I don't want to make it like that, but it just seems like you're just a very like refined person. Like I don't know. I don't even know how to explain it. Just like a really nice person. You let yourself make mistakes, and you let other people make mistakes, but you also know when it's not acceptable. Like, you've been through really tough things, but I don't think that stops you from like loving yourself and loving other people. You take things in stride, you know, but at the same time, like, you take control over the things that you know you need to take control over. Like, it seems like there's a lot of balance here. Maybe you're Libra, but I don't really like Libras, to be honest. Low-key. That's a different story, though. But it just feels like there's an emphasis on balance. Like, you're just very much like, you have it. Like, maybe a lot of people think you do have it all, but like, I feel like it's not like it just is something that fell into your lap. Like, you had to work at it. You had to be persistent about wanting to know, wanting to learn, you know, better, and wanting to get better and do better and be a better person and grow. It's just that you're someone who's just very focused on growth, and you've done it. Like, you have grown into such a wonderful person. You might be like a little bit older. I mean, I don't know, like, but it's not coming through that like you're like a young adult. This feels like the energy of someone who is very like mature and who has had a lot of life experience. That's not to say that you can't have like a lot of life experience if you're a young adult, but because like, don't even get me started. But this is someone who like just feels very much like, I don't know. I don't know how to explain it. I know what I'm feeling, but if it's you, then you know what's up. Anyways, so we have where you're at in this process of closing out this cycle. I don't even know if I really like commented on exactly what the cycle is, to be honest. We have, oh my gosh, salt with protection, banishing negativity. Oh, Biscoff. Oh, okay. I'm trying to think. Hold on. The rain is like throwing me off. It started storming during the second pile. I was like, oh my gosh. Yeah, I don't even know. Like, this is weird because this is the only pile where it's been like less so about what the cycle is and more so about like the way that you're able to take it. This just doesn't, it's not that it's negligible, but it's like almost like a problem that you solve pretty immediately. I don't know. Because, like, I just don't even think if you ran into a cycle like that, like, you would, obviously, we, like, all have karmic cycles probably until we die, and it's fine. But it just feels like you've gotten so good at, like, learning and growing and being better that there's less of a focus on what exactly that cycle is and just the way that you regard it, and that it's a great way to regard things. I think, I don't know, it's just like a lot of balance coming through. Did it say balance on there before? I feel like there was something that said balance, but I think I'm wrong also. I think I actually cannot see. Yeah. Anyways. And then we have your advice from spirits. I'll go off in a little bit about more stuff, but I might get some more oracle cards for you because like this is like a little bit, I don't know, I'm interested but also confused. Your advice from spirit is yes. The answer to your question is yes. Have you been hesitant about a decision? The universe is giving you a clear sign to move forward and trust this path. Okay, specific message. But if you are like an older woman and there's something here about like you want to like travel or something, but like there's family stuff, but not so like it's not coming through that you would like have young kids that need to be taken care of, but that there's something about like, oh, I'm unsure if I should just do this, like I wonder if I'm like too old to start this chapter in my life, but there's something about like travel coming through. Oh, I'm interested. Yeah, it feels like it's less so like an old karmic cycle that you're closing out and just like a chapter of your life. You're at a point where you're so, like I said, like refined and good at learning lessons and good at growing, that now you just kind of want to like rest and have like retreat and yeah, like the self-care and replenishment. For a while now, I think you've been in such a good, amazing, abundant energy, and I think that, but like that's been less so in the tangible sense, and it's like almost like the little baby birds are leaving their nest and now you have the opportunity to indulge in something that you want to go get, but you're unsure about it. It's interesting because this is definitely a lot less about what is being closed out and a lot more about there's something in the future that spirit is urging you to go take. Go run to, really. It does feel like travel or leaving something behind, but it doesn't feel like you're leaving a person. It just feels like maybe you're leaving like your house or something like that. And it's just a little bit hard. Even though you're going to be back, it just feels like there's a little bit of heartache about it, that you're entering a new phase, a new chapter in your life. I wonder if I can make it like a little bit brighter because the sun is gone now. There. Ooh, is that too much? I don't know. Anyways, so yeah, this is interesting, an interesting one. Let me see if I can get read these oracle cards I made. They might be a little bit more, I do try to like keep a cap on it, but I'm interested in your reading because this is definitely more so about like stepping into that new chapter and being okay. I mean, I think you are okay, but like you're human, so there's like a wistful feeling coming through of just like leaving something behind, leaving a home behind, even though you know that you're going to come back to it. That, you know, it could be a person if you're like married and your spouse doesn't want to come with you, but it's like there's a need to acknowledge that you've done so much work and you're a free spirit. Okay, I'm going to get a couple cards just to get some more information about this. Okay. So, we got the wordy cards, unfortunately. So sorry. We have, you're not going to be able to see it. Each morning the sun rises high in the sky, steady and determined, and shines its warm golden light upon the earth. Though right now you might feel uncertain of your circumstances, Spirit is asking you to embody the self-assured, confident, and steadfast energy of the sun. Do not let doubt or negative energies muddle your conviction. You are doing everything right. The path ahead is clear to you, though other people might not understand your vision. Your intuition is calling out to you and you must listen. And then we have Mars is bursting into your life. Energy is building and you are taking the necessary steps to get where you need to go. Keep up the momentum. Wishes, hopes, and dreams are in the process of being manifested, and every action you take towards them only continues the process along. This journey and goal is divinely protected. It is something that you were always meant to reach. Keep up with the persistence, dedication, and hard work, and soon your dreams will come to fruition. And then, Persephone, please stop chewing your paw. Hey, stop it. It's gross. Protect your energy. If you are willing to give, then there is someone who is willing to take. Not everyone is worth your time, energy, love, and affection. Relationships should be reciprocal, an equal give and take. Are there relationships in your life that drain you? Spirit is calling your attention to this imbalance and asking you to take action. Okay. So, maybe it is a spouse, but it feels like there's something that you want to do. There's something that you want to do, and ultimately it would mean leaving something behind, but it feels like that's temporary. And something is changing in your life. And I think you're okay with that, but it's almost like there's a naysayer or someone in your ear. If this is travel, or maybe it's a business, like maybe you want to use your savings to invest in a business, and you've been saving up all your life and you really want to do it, but people are like, that's not really smart. Or if it is like going somewhere, you know, living off of your savings for a few months, like people are just like in your ear about it, but it's something that you've dreamt of or that's like been in the cards for you and you feel like you really earned. That feels like the next logical step. You've closed one chapter in your life out, one that would have you be more grounded to a consistent routine. Like if you spent the past, you know, chunk of your life raising kids and now they've left your house, you have freedom to do something, like you want to pursue that freedom. But maybe people are like, no, like you need to, I don't know, what do they say? Something, that's for sure. Everyone has an opinion about something. But maybe someone's like saying, oh, that's like too young for you to do, or something like that. Like, that's not what like older people do. They don't da da da. And you're like, well, why not? Like, why can't I? I have like time to myself again. That's kind of what it's feeling like, is that there are naysayers. And maybe that's your spouse, like maybe that's a partner or something like that. But either way, Spirit is asking you to focus on what you want and just go get it. You're like at this point in your life, you've done the work, you've earned it. So they want you to just honestly go at it. Like the Mars energy here is very like indicative of the fact that this is something that you can just go grab and it's meant for you. And you don't have to let other people get in your head about things. Deep down, I think you know that this is for you. But anyways, I'm gonna get into the tarot portion of the video before this gets too long and my phone cuts me off. So give me a minute to put this stuff away and I'll be right back. So sorry if you hear my dog crunching in the background, but she's eating her dinner right now, so we're just gonna have to listen to the ambiance. So I'm gonna get 3 cards for each of these things. We have 2 questions. What energy is coming in? And then where will you go with the lessons that you've learned? So this definitely is the most future-oriented pile out of all of them. I feel like I got off track, definitely. Where are you in the process of closing this cycle, which feels more like a chapter out? You're there. You're at the end. It's already been closed out. Like, you are on the precipice of the next thing. You just need to jump headfirst into it. And I'm hearing that you do need to jump headfirst into it. It feels like maybe that cycle was just a long chapter of your life, one that necessitated more routine and stability, and you're ready for something new. So Spirit, for pile number 3, collective number 3, what energy is coming in for them? What energy is coming in for pile number 3? We have the 2 of Wands, the Ace of Wands, and then the Page of Cups. Whatever this thing is, this is something that you have dreamt of and longed for a long time. I'm gonna actually get this next 3 cards before I start talking, but that's definitely what this is something that you've waited for a long time, and the universe is finally like, okay, here you go. And now you need to take it. Like, they're not fucking around. Like, this is your opportunity. So you need to take it. But where will they go? Let's see, with the energy, the lessons. Oh my goodness. You can tell I'm fizzling out. It's the last reading. My voice is fucked. Where will you go with the lessons that you've learned? Pile 3. Interesting. And the 10 of Swords. We have the 4 of Cups on the bottom of the deck. Okay, yes. So whatever this thing is that you're kind of moving towards and you're like, I want to do this, but people are like, maybe not. This is something that you've been dreaming of for a while. It's something that, like, it feels like with this page, you've been holding on to it and you've been kind of like nurturing it a little bit, but like keeping it stowed away, and you're like, maybe for the right time, because it's a page. Like, it's something that would need that development. And you've been like waiting for the right time, waiting for the right opportunity. And the energy that is coming in is that opportunity. Like, opportunity for this sort of thing is like literally right around the corner, like maybe a couple days or a couple weeks away. And Spirit is really very much urging you to take that opportunity when it comes to you. This is something that lights you up. It lights your fire. It makes you excited for life. I just heard like excited for life again. I do feel like you've been in a routine or in something that feels like it's grown stagnant, and you want some passion. You want something to shake your life back up. And I think that no matter what anyone says or no matter who's in your ear, you're going to take this opportunity. That's just kind of what I see. And then where will you go with this opportunity, with the lessons that you've learned? I believe this is the 9 of Pentacles, if I'm correct, yes. So there's definitely something that you're leaving behind. Again, like, it could be a partner, it could be like a house, it could be a job, it could be something like that, but it's something that was in your life for a while, and it doesn't mean that like you're leaving it permanently. Like, it definitely feels like this is something that you're coming back to, but that it's a hard adjustment. But that you're going to take the initiative to do it anyways. This, whatever you're doing, feels like an independent or solo venture. Whether that's because people weren't interested in doing it with you or because it just is. I'm almost seeing like a backpacking journey, like hiking one of those really long trails that takes like months to hike too. And like that can be really tough on your body, your brain, just like anything. It could be something like that. That's kind of the vibe. It's something that whether or not like you've invited other people to do it with you, you end up doing it alone. But that you're sort of like charging ahead, because we do have like a good amount of fire here too. We have some fire. Well, we have all the elements really, but I noticed that 3 of the cards are fire or wands. So this is definitely something that like maybe it's a passion project, but something that lights you up and makes you feel that inner flame. And the King of Wands is very much like, he's a leader, but he also doesn't start anything that he's not going to finish. He's someone who very much takes that initiative, and coupled with the 9 of Pentacles, like that's kind of what I get, is this is something that like once you start, you can't stop, and you have to keep going. But there's a little bit of grief coming here. There's a little bit of grief at this change and at this newfound independence. What's behind the 4 of Cups? Behind the 4 of Cups, we have the Sun. I think this is a part of yourself that you've been denying for a really long time. This is like hyper specific as well, but if you're like queer or something like that, this could be like coming out to people, or like wanting to live out more like openly. That could definitely be it, because it does feel like there's some sort of judgment, there's some sort of naysayer, or like some way that people are side-eyeing you. And it feels like this is something about yourself, like with this page and this 4 of Cups, it feels like it's just a little dream, like a little dream that you've been like kind of hiding away and like kind of nurturing, but that you've been denying for a while, and you're finally like running after it full steam ahead because you know it's meant for you. And Spirit is definitely saying that it's meant for you. With the Sun right behind here, you just have to like get over the little hump, but it looks like you will. And I don't know, I love the energy for this one. Like this is just a great vibe. But I feel like I've rambled ad nauseum thus far. So I'm going to leave your reading here, pile number 3. I hope you enjoyed, and I hope I will see you in the next one.